another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well this evening. I wanted to do one this Sunday evening. I'll probably post it in the morning, but hope you guys are doing well. Things are going well. The Vigor Warriors busy all weekend and get a chance to do that many, but I got a couple done. Hopefully we'll get this one done and we'll do one tomorrow as well. Hope you guys are on your purpose. Hope you guys are continuing to conquest not only yourself, but things around you. Make sure you're in control of yourself first, and then everything else falls into place as well, under God's purpose. So, thank you guys. Let me do some shout-outs since I'm catching up on my listing here, and then we'll get into our topic. Red Pill on Steroids, RPOS, thank you for your comments. NAR 1992, always. Moy Hernandez, thank you, my friend. 2 for Thomas Fahy. Yisrael Yehuddah, thank you. Antonio, TKO, Guido Perez. Antonio again, thank you, my friend. Rising King, yes, my friend, there's nothing wrong with getting mad every time you release, because that makes you strive harder the next time to keep fighting and battling. It took me 47 years, something like that, to actually get to the point where I can at least win a few battles and go continuous P. Now we're on 1,085 days, something like that. So our streaks are getting better and better as the years go on. So don't give up, get pissed off, get mad that you released, but don't let it sit there too long. Just keep moving on. You built the habit, you're building the habit to keep stopping every day, transmuting, getting your goals done. The less you think about it, the better off you're going to be. So good job, Rising King. You'll be fine. Justin Greene, be ready to go 12 rounds. That's right. The evil one's going to keep battling you till the end. They will never give up. You're going to battle and battle every round like a boxing match until you got nothing left except the will to survive. And that's what you need to have. So thank you guys. Great comments. Great thing. So at the 2-minute mark, let's talk about the topic. This one comes from Just Me, and I always like talking about this one because this is an interesting one. Just Me talks about the beauty and the beast. Let's talk about this in terms of retention. I always love this fable. I mean, we've seen it all times in Disney movies and the old Disney movies, I guess. Not so much the new stuff. But all kinds of fables and fairy tales. And I believe, in my own mind, over the years, that I believe this is a true, accurate statement of how males and females behave. This has been the case to me going back to the first days of life, because what ends up happening in the male and a female both have 2 different roles. This is why it gets confluted now with all these people trying to change roles and everything. But the bottom line is God put us on this earth for 2 reasons, males and females. The females are the nurturers, supposed to be continuing the family, growing the family, and the males have to be able to protect and provide. And that's what warrior males have always done. I don't care if you go back to the biblical times, you go back to all the history of the dynasties. I don't care if you call them soldiers, warriors. Every race has had this type of thing, because the male and female have to work together for the children to continue growing. And though they may not like those roles all the time, that female has to be able to know they are not going to lose those babies. I don't care if you're talking about a dog, a cat, a woman, any sort of species. They have to make sure that the nest, in a sense, is protected. And they can't do it themselves, especially if they're trying to nurture a family. So they're looking for that male who's strong. I don't care what species you're talking about. Now, insects, other places, obviously the male is used for procreation purposes as well. But the male is needed in many species to protect the species and to provide things for the family, while the female is protecting all of that at home and nurturing all that to make that grow, just like a flower. So in this Beauty and the Beast scenario, what happens is that the female of the species is always trying to kind of tone back a little bit of that aggressiveness of the male, because the male has so much aggressiveness because of their built-in testosterone, all these type of things that the male has, the energy, the vitality, the masculinity. They try to tone it so that things can get accomplished within the family, because that's what they're needed. Their interest to. Their interest is making sure that the kids are well protected, well provided for. Now, this society we've been in kind of has done crazy things with that whole notion. So when we talk about the fact that when a male is this uncontrollable wolf and lion, the female obviously tries to kind of subdue that male a little bit, to bring that male down to a representative level so they can do things to help out the family. Now, the male always has to recognize this, and a lot of males don't recognize this. And nowadays, with a lot of our males who are not as strong as they should be, and they're weak, in fact, they're nowhere close to this type of male. And the female is able to change them. They were changed before they even met the female. And so the female is searching for that male who has that combination of that aggressiveness and the ability to provide and protect, and they provide security, but they also want that male to be a little sensitive and have that side of the equation as well. So they're always trying to soothe the beast, but the beast can never be soothed if you're the beast. If you are that warrior who is retaining, you have so much energy, you can't be controlled. Now, I'm not saying, warriors, you should not work with your partner, work with your wife, work with your partner to raise those kids under God's purpose and work in a family setting. I'm not saying that at all. I think that's one of the purposes God has for us, males, to provide, protect. However, you can never get to the point where you're being dominated by the female and you lose all that edge that you should have. You should have an edge to you, warriors. A controlled edge, nonetheless, but an edge. And this is where it's important to know the fine difference here. If you have your testosterone, if you are building that sort of nature within yourself, strong nature, you should be able to have a strong, controlled aggressiveness. Needing it only when you need to. Protecting your wife, protecting the family, protecting your town, protecting the country. But not to the point where you're abusing it by bullying people and all this other kind of stuff that we see out there. The female respects that because they know that's something that needs to happen. What females do not respect, from all the interviews and people I've talked to over the years, any age group, I don't care what denomination, I don't care what race, anything. Same thing. Females are all the same when it comes to this. The idea is that the female needs to feel secure. If they don't respect that male, then that male has a hard time getting anything accomplished as a warrior. This is why it's important for that warrior to have that edge. Always make sure that you have that aggressiveness. Now, it can be controlled, and like in the Beauty and the beast is sitting there, and the female is trying to soothe that beast and channeling it into positive things for the family. And there's nothing wrong with that, except for the fact that that beast should never become and never lose that beast-like quality. You should never do that. Now, what's going to happen then? The female will continue to be with that male because their job is to try to soothe that beast. But if the beast never changes, that female will be around forever. And we see this all the time. This is why you see situations where males who are the bad boys all of a sudden have females around them, and you don't know why they're being treated, mistreated, badly treated, and the females stay with them. Because they're always trying to soothe that beast. Now, they may not know that. They may not be able to recognize that if you tell them that, but that's what's really happening. Therefore, the main thing you have to realize, and just me saying it and eloquently here, I think it's important to realize that you have to be that controlled beast. If you're that controlled beast, the females will flock around you. They sense the energy, as we talked about many times before. They sense your aura. They understand it. They know you're a man of action. Now, what you have to do is you have to understand, and you have to be able to get along with people, females as well, and you have to be able to understand, okay, where do I control my nature here, but also keep that edge? And that's important. Don't lose your aggressiveness. Don't lose your risk-taking ability. But make sure you're under control, because you don't want to release energy through too much anger, emotion, or obviously releasing physically. Those things will kill you faster than anything else. All right, well, good topic. I always like talking about the Beauty and the Beast. One of my favorite fables and discussions. It is very pertinent to the way I think women and men work together. And this has been through the history of mankind, the same thing. The female species is always trying to soothe that beast. But the beast has to continue being the beast. Now, they may kind of soothe a little bit to get things done in the society, protecting their family, they will have some of that, but they will never lose that edge. And so warriors never lose that edge. Now, I don't care who you become involved with. Obviously, you don't want to get to the point where you're so aggressive that you're abusing people or hurting people. We don't condone that at all. Warriors, that's not being a man. But on the other hand, you have to have that aggressiveness potential so that people have respect for you and they fear you in some ways. A healthy fear, not a out of the unhealthy fear, but they respect you enough that they know that you're not going to be pushed around. And that's important to females. You cannot allow them pushing you around, because then you become very weak in their eyes and they lose respect. All right, my friends, enough for tonight. Hope you guys have a great evening. Thank you, just me and everybody else, for the great comments. And remember two things, guys. One, every day, like tomorrow morning, is a new day to a great warrior. And second, guys, don't forget to battle